Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Dos a Cero Football Podcast. My name is John Chagu. Thank you for joining us. We are live Wednesday. Running a little late tonight, about 10:25. Apologize for the late start, but we are on the air now. We are live on YouTube, and of course, you can listen to this and other previous editions of the podcast by downloading them from the Podcast Center on iTunes. Lot to get to tonight. A couple of interesting topics. Possible. I'm not sure what's happening. Maybe y'all can enlighten me on the Chivas game. It looks like we could have a Super Clásico in the most prestigious of tournaments, the Copa MX, which obviously when they have matchups like this in the semifinal, it definitely gives the tournament a little bit more prestige. So let's hope that that happens for us tonight. We also have to talk about, I don't want to make this more kind of an America-centric show, but they've had a bit of a problem with their Centenario celebration with a theme that turns out may have been cribbed. We'll talk about that as well. And we'll, jump into the usual topics, and then we'll explore some other avenues. So we're glad that you're with us tonight. We have another esteemed panel of colleagues, as we always do on the Dos a Cero Football Podcast. Some very brilliant football minds and football savants will be discussing what has happened recently. So we'll get right to it. Out in Escondido, California. Now, the reason I do this introduction the way I do is that the way it's ordered on my little chart here on the Google Hangout. So it's not like I have favorites or anything. I just want people to understand that. But the first guy up there is out in Escondido, California. Dan Preciado, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. A little bit upset that my Dodgers are losing, but other than that,
that's going to go 7
fine
games.
Evening. Yeah. It looks like it. Well, it's definitely going to go at least now 6. So
yeah. Teams, you want it to go 7 games, so you get 7 games of really good baseball, and you get to see your boy pitch 3 times, and that's probably what would want to see the most. So, well, I'm sad for the Dodgers, even though I'm a grown up an Astros fan, was a Dodger hater back when I was they don't bother me as much anymore, but hopefully things will work out for you.
Jose Cruz was all right in my book.
I loved Jose Cruz. I still love the way they announced him at the stadium. Jose Cruz. And his kid ended up playing at Rice. Isn't that right, Ronnie? Didn't his kid play at Rice University for a bit?
Yeah, he played. I actually played against.
Did you play against
him in high school?
Because you played.
They were ahead of me, but in select leagues, they played Bel Air, which we used to play Bel Air, and he went to Rice as well. Very good baseballs. Well, Rice is a university, very good program that they have in Bel Air. I don't know about now, but back when I was in high school, and for many years, they were a powerhouse in baseball at the Texas high school level.
Yeah, well, just Houston itself is just a real hotbed for, any kind of talent, basketball, football. They're just a lot of people live in Houston, so that doesn't surprise me at all. In fact, the 2 top football recruits are out of the same private school in Houston. Two big linemen.
What do you think of LA and Houston? Probably the most dense in talent. You think maybe?
I think Houston.
I don't think there's any question of that. Yeah, I think LA and Houston are probably 1 and 2.
Harris County
football. I would say Houston basketball and LA, but baseball Houston.
But the difference is that they actually want to keep Houston down, like the Houston University, U of H, which kind of made me upset, but that's for a different podcast.
Into your University of Houston, it was pretty wrong. It was a baffling decision, but like I said, we'll talk about that on a different show. Let's continue with introductions. Next on my list, I have a gentleman who lives about 30 miles from me. Although it takes like an hour to drive. Of course, I'm talking about Albert El Chiquiscampa, our technical director. Albert, how are you this evening?
Hey, doing good. I just got a voicemail from a fan.
Oh my God!
They're watching the game.
Are they mad that we weren't on?
They're watching the game that was on earlier. Let me play it.
Porque les falta actitud, les falta partirse la madre, llegar y decirnos que los pendejos.
That can only mean one thing. That can only mean one thing. That one thing is tonight.
Lost 3-1.
Pobrecitos.
Now it's good to be here.
Is Cruz Azul just a team that is just in need of just a massive intervention? I mean, they're just in such.
They have tried coaches. They've tried players. I think we know the problem.
I think they need Piojo.
Nah, they've had great coaches.
They need some.
They've had great players. They've had great coaches. And unfortunately, I think the one constant is the higher ups.
Are you supposed to rub an egg on your head or something? Hard-boiled egg, or throw rice over your head?
I remember. I mean, that team.
I thought it was like a beef.
Y la Cruz Azulio.
Like on paper, that team used to scare me because they had talented players.
But you can't. I mean, they've always had good players. I mean, they've been very consistent. I mean, as long as I've been alive, they've been, a team that, 5 times out of 6 is going to, at least make the liguilla and probably make it to the semifinals. I mean, they've always been like that. And a guy like Tomás Boy just doesn't help. They need somebody that, but see, that's the problem, is that they haven't done anything in so long that there's no like ídolo 15 or 20 years, because they're all quemados. I mean, that's just the reality. It's unfortunate.
It's funny you say that, John, because I mean, the last ídolo is actually a Pumas, with Palencia. I mean,
Right.
It's like it seems like he has more respect for, even Chivas and Pumas than he does for Cruz Azul, and like the last ídolo, which is Hermosillo. Really, he's pissed off at the institution. Now, granted, it could be for personal reasons, because perhaps they didn't roll the red carpet for him, but I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to pinpoint. Because they've had the coaches, they have had great coaches, they've had great players, they've had great squads. I don't know. What's that?
Now, to be fair to Cruz Azul, I mean, they've lost either 2 or 3 finals in the throes of the last 30 seconds of a match.
I think I joke about this. I joke about this. The player that just he retired like a year ago or 2 years a year ago. Ex-Chiva player as well. What's his name? He was a forward. He said that when they played against them, that they scared them. I think that
Miguel Sabá.
Yeah, Miguel Sabá. I think that fear doesn't stem from they're scared to play against America. I think that fear comes from the pressure and the Garces family put upon the institution and the players. I think that they put.
I mean, what do you think happens? Do you think that you're in a final, the players walk into the locker room and there's a picture of their family with red X's through their faces? I mean, come on.
I don't know, man, but it's just,
That's what makes you great, though. That's what makes the clubs great, is the pressure that it provides, and it makes them elevate their game. It's more important than facilities.
I think his comment. I think Miguel Sabá's comment was more of an indictment on himself.
Do you think that Ruben Sambueza, when he scores a goal, before the goal, he found in a locker, was a finger in his locker room in an envelope? It's like, I'll score today.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing about it is, that comment with Miguel Sabá. I don't think it was him. I think that's just a general feeling that a lot of the players had, because they were just tired of the press always.
Well, that's why they lost. That's why they lost.
What they went 15, 16 something games straight where they couldn't even beat America.
That's a disgrace.
Yeah, that's just mental midgetry, dude.
I mean, that's almost the equivalent
of
that college football coach, where what is it, Alabama and was it Auburn? That 10-year. John, you know this. You know more about college sports than college football. Back in the day, it was Alabama and
Alabama.
I think
I don't.
it was a war between like two coaches, and like one team couldn't really beat the other.
Well, yeah, they couldn't beat. I mean, Auburn couldn't beat Alabama for many years. But I mean that that happens. It happens in any rivalry. It's a matter of. But it's just. But for the thing about Cruz Azul, I mean, this has been going on for at least 10 years. I mean, they've had just the word. I mean, just what on earth are there? People believe in karma. I mean, their owners must be just absolutely despicable people, because just like the worst things happen to that team.
I mean, just 90-70 since 97.
Yeah, I mean that's 20 years of just rip your heart out. Rough stuff. Anyway, before I was sidetracked, that is of course Philadelphia Ronnie de Luna. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to prepare because I just got walked in, but he will have a new walk-in music starting next week. I couldn't think of a better.
You mean this one?
To listen to this.
You know that song's actually growing on me.
Hey.
That is Sevilla's stadium song, right, Chiquis?
That must be why. That's my last name.
Hey,
it's growing on you because it's Sevilla's song.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's ingrained.
I told Joel from Jump Street that I thought that new song was stupid. At the time, I didn't know that it was an exact copy of.
Oh, it's terrible! It's terrible! It's absolutely it's so ridiculously bad.
We might as well just jump into it now. The whole America thing. Did we introduce everybody?
You know what the funniest is that this song, they don't even have the rights to it. So every time they play in their stadium, Warner Brothers just a little bit of cash, which always cracks me up. So there's that.
Here's the thing. Honestly, criticism, that they're getting for this. But I honestly,
as a fan,
keep in mind, I am a person that does not celebrate birthdays. I think it's just I got other shit to do. It's fucking horrible. That song is fucking horrible.
So this is why I believe that if the same people that wrote this song do a song, an homenaje to the puto chant, it stops the next day. Guaranteed.
That honestly, I understand. If I'm Pelais and I'm thinking like Pelais, honestly, I don't give a fuck. No. I don't think he had anything. And this is where I'm going. If I'm Pelais, I don't give two shits about the fucking the Centennial Party. I don't. I care about one thing, one important thing, and that's the trophy. Because honestly, John, if we would have had a splendid, Centennial Party,
doing just fine. They're in fourth or fifth place. They're in perfect position as long as they
exactly
worry about anything.
Exactly, and I think for the true America
but it's just fun for us to make fun of them.
I think for the true America fans, not the plastic fans, but the true America fans like myself, that are.
See, there are a lot of people like me that think that an America fan and a plastic fan are kind of one and the same.
No. I was around when we went, 12 years without a title. I know what that felt like. I don't know what it feels now. You have to ask Joel. You guys are going.
That's around the time I met Robbie.
That's right, because they just won one. Yeah,
they just won a title.
Yeah. So look. So
Chivas Comet is coming this year.
So yeah. So now what I'm saying is, I don't give a shit about if we had Real Madrid or we had Boca Juniors or whoever at the Centennial Party. All I care about is lifting the title, and not just because it's a Centennial Party. To me that's irrelevant. It's just a fucking birthday. It's just another day. That's all it is. I care about lifting the title, and I want America to win the Copa MX, because honestly, those two CONCACAF titles are great, but I want to see America in Copa Libertadores. So,
Here's
but
a
I
big
don't
drum
know.
That's if we're still playing it, Ronnie.
Yeah, true. But
Don't you think this year's been tarnished with this copying, and then America comes out and says that they didn't?
Oh, did you hear that eagle? Did you hear that eagle? That eagle effect? That was beautiful.
hey,
Like,
I
they came out-
honestly, you know what, Beto,
You know, I didn't like
if
the song
that's
until I just heard the eagle noise.
Beto,
Is
if that's
Is
what
that a
they're
game
if
changer for
that's-
you, Ronnie,
if
like
that's
it
what-
was for me?
If that's what they're
Yeah.
complaining,
Subliminal.
if that's what they're complaining about a song or about a centennial party, it's because America is doing something right on the field. You know, how many
Ronnie,
games-
nobody's denying that. But
So,
this is just
exactly. So
the-
to me,
yeah.
that's,
So what's your beef?
it's not a beef.
upset. Why
I'm not.
Why are you mad?
I'm not mad at all.
rant. Ronnie's rant.
I'm
you're
not.
mad.
I'm not upset at all. I just think it's stupid that. Oh my God! You didn't have a birthday party. You didn't have a centennial. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, it
Right, so
don't
now
matter. That don't matter. But when
about this song is that it's very obvious to me, and of course, you know, I'm spitballing here, that parent company was the one that put that, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if it was, you know, people that they're thinking that they might to do well in the rock and roll stuff or the, you know, whatever it is, and this is the thing that's always bugged me about the way that stuff is marketed in Mexico is that it's like they never do market research. It's like they market stuff for what they think they're gonna like, or maybe they just don't care and they just do it. You know what actually might work and actually might be appealing to the folks.
I have a question. You know, here's the thing though. Right now, you know, I don't think for one second that Ricardo Peláez really gave a shit about the centennial. You know, and honestly, I don't care if he did or didn't. I care about.
Frankly, he shouldn't care about it.
No, exactly.
I mean,
but here's but I'm going to another thing. Honestly, I don't even care if John Escarra, the owner of Televisa, really cared. I don't know if you guys keep up, you know, with the news, but Televisa's got some uphill battles with the whole, you know, streaming, you know, the
as any other media company does.
So
one trick. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So honestly, for them, okay, whatever. Yeah, just hire that fucking knock over there to compose a song. I need to worry about the big, you know, the bigger picture, which is fighting, you know, Netflix, fighting, you know, Slim, you know, Carlos Slim and stuff like that. So, I mean, they have bigger fish to fry. Ricardo Peláez has bigger fish to fry. You know, the Jose Ramons of the world, they're going to bitch and moan about, oh, you know, that Peláez, he's, you know, the reason it's the shitty centennial party is because he's not in good terms
but what's supposed to happen? What are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to, you know, I mean, I guess I don't understand why people are. What's the big bitch?
Well, if it's indicative of, I saw a thing with Jose Ramon when he's busting Saguinho's balls. You know that, hey, Madrid, you know, they celebrated their centennial an entire year. They had Placido Domingo, you know, singing their anthem, you know, Naco from the street, and it's like, you know, they didn't have the players, you know, like all their legends had on the field, and one of the criticisms is that Ricardo Peláez is basically distant from, you know, the America's, you know, iconic players, that he's not in good terms with them, so that's why they didn't come. Well, you know, to be honest, I
find that hard to believe.
No, he's right. I do give him that. I will give him that because Antonio Carlos Santos, he basically flat out like a week ago said that he wants to go after Peláez's job. Again, I'm thankful. I am thankful for Antonio Carlos, what he did as a player. But one of these things that tends to happen, especially in Liga MX, is that players that, you know, after their playing careers, they think that the club is still going to take care of them. And if you think that, that's because you didn't prepare your future properly. The fucking club can't take care of you your entire fucking life.
You think that
it's like, you know, It's not like you know
Is he
Cavino.
like the
Cavino's,
like the locker room attendant at Villacuapa? Is he the one that,
I
that
don't know,
takes
but
it?
like I said, when he told me when I heard Santos basically say that he wants to go after Peláez's job, to me that's just sour grapes on his part because he's not the coach of America, or he's not a Televisa fat cat. And that to me it's just jealousy at that point.
Heartbreaking stories from the. We'll have to call that segment "Tales from Villacuapa." Just another heartbreaking story
That's not just
in the sordid
That's
history of Club America.
that's not Coapa. That's just Cavino with Pumas, Muñante with Pumas. What's his name? Barbadillo with Tigres.
Tigres. Well, just Tomas Boy with Tigres.
Yeah, Tomas Boy. Yeah, so I mean, it's a lot of these players thought that after their careers they were going to be gods, and that their clubs were going to give them a job for life. That didn't work that way. That's on them, dude. That's not on the club.
Well, if Ricardo Peláez picked this song, then maybe his job should be in jeopardy. But Joel, you like this song, right? Is that what Joel Aceves joined us, everybody from California? You like this song, Joel?
It's growing on me, John.
Yeah. So should I play this for you?
It's horrible.
No. I said
Play
I
this
like
for
it.
you, Joel, when you walk in, or should I play this? So once again, this.
There's a big difference between those songs, John.
This could be a song that mariachis play. Hey, play America Centenario. Like little college girls. Play America Centenario next. How cool would that have been if that song was played by a mariachi? It would have sounded so much better. But anyway, Joel, thank you for joining us. We are 2 minutes away from a super clásico in Copa MX. Is this going to legitimize Copa MX as a bona fide tournament that
No.
people should?
No, John.
It's gonna give it, some viewers, but ultimately only the calendar and the way it's played.
John. Copa MX, although I think it's great and we should continue it, it's not going to be valid for Chivas. It's not going to be valid for Cruz Azul until they win a league title. For America, and I'm not just saying this because I'm an Americanista, but they've won recently. Winning a Copa MX, that gives it legitimacy.
Oh man.
I'm just saying.
So it's only legitimate.
When Cruz Azul won
that
it,
sounds like what you were saying.
When Cruz Azul won it, they celebrated, and people laughed at them for that. Yes or no?
Yeah,
Chicago.
Same thing.
I mean, I forgot that they'd even won it. Actually, to be honest with you.
Same thing with Chivas. When Chivas won it, they thought that their streak was over.
Hey, we got a caller from Chicago.
Okay.
Oh my God, we have a caller from Chicago. Is this Tomas? Is this Tomas?
Hey, how's it going? No, this is Eddie Alcala, big fan. I've been listening to you guys at work. You guys make my time go by so fucking fast. Thank you, Eddie.
Well, Eddie, I'm glad to know we are a cure for your boredom at the office. Thank you so much. It means a lot to us.
You guys are really knowledgeable, and the fact that you lay out all the statistics on the table. You guys are really, inspirational. You guys are just awesome. I just want to say thank you guys. I'm gonna keep listening to you guys.
I mean, our goal, Eddie, is to make this a 2-hour carpet bomb. We don't pull any punches here. We tell it like it is. So thank you. Do you have a question or comment, sir?
That's what I love about it. It's awesome. And keep it going, and and you have a pair of ears listening to you guys every time you guys hit the debate tables.
Yeah. So Eddie, I'm going to ask you: Are you live in Chicago? What is there a team that you follow? Are you what color is your heart, Eddie?
My heart is Chivas. Is 100% Chivas heart. All my family.
Joel, you finally have some company. You don't, a proper Chivas fan, not a cambiarrayas.
Right, yeah.
John.
Yeah, man. How come you did that to us, man? That's a sandbag.
It was. He
You
drank.
know that. I hope you.
He literally.
I hope
He
you feel-
literally drank the Kool-Aid. He drank the Kool-Aid while he was down in Pachuca, and it's changed. He's a changed man. You know, they play in a couple. Is it this weekend when they play? Pachuca and Chivas.
we're just gonna see who's the top dog. I mean,
How long have you been a Chivas fan? I mean, is this like a lifelong thing?
Oh, of course, yeah. Well, since I was a little kid, man, all the time.
And in your lifetime, how many championships has Chivas? We'll know exactly. Just tell us how many championships has Chivas won since you've been alive.
Fortunately, one, but that was the greatest time of my life.
He's younger.
Well, you're a youngster then. You're a youngster. It's only one. Hey, we appreciate it.
Let me remind you guys of a goal del Bofo. That was just a beautiful goal. That was a nice goal on Cristante, or whatever the hell the goalkeeper of Toluca was at the time.
It was.
We got you, Toluca. You know.
If you don't mind me asking, how'd you find out about our podcast?
Somos leyenda.
Really. I was just looking at sports podcasts and whatnot, and I never thought that I was gonna freaking listen to people talk about Liga MX and English. You know, it's kind of weird, but
I agree. It is weird.
So that's
Ladies
all.
and gentlemen, I have breaking news. Breaking news. We will have a Super Clásico in Copa MX.
Semifinals.
That's honestly that is as big a game as this tournament has had, and it's the biggest game this tournament has had. Back.
I agree.
So I do have a question for you.
Point.
Do you have thoughts on the national team? Are they going to win in Columbus?
Oh my gosh! All right, that's a whole other topic. All right. I'm gonna get into quick. I really feel like we should just bring a Piojo back and just sort everything how he had it back in 2014. Look, he had all those boys running. He had those boys running with heart.
So you want Mexico to lose in Columbus is what you're saying?
Yeah. What I want them to make is play that beautiful Mexican soccer that was starting to really appreciate, and then it just all went to hell. And unfortunately, we're in this situation right now. We only lost one match, really horrible in the past, man. But that guy's just a clown.
Hey, well, question. I got a question for you. If it was, because there's speculation that if Osorio gets canned, that one of the guys that would be in line for the job is Almeida from Chivas.
Oh my gosh, no.
Would you take?
I don't like that move at all.
What's that?
I would take a Piojo guy. I would take a Piojo in a heartbeat.
Piojo is burned with Piojo is burned with the press. Once the press is against you, they're against you. Now,
True.
Almeida right now.
But
So-
it matters.
He is the bell of the ball right now. There's no question. Oh my God!
Why
Is that
don't
Julio
you
Teñida?
why don't you want Almeida as coach? Is it because you want him to stay with your Chivas, or is it because you don't think he's good enough for the national team?
He just really hasn't done much. He's given a couple Copa MXs. I mean, I want to see a championship. I want to see another star on that banner. I want to see, I want to see them surpass America stars because, we had that locked down for such a long time that it just got out of hand. It just got out of hand.
And again, just so that I can verify. And how many of those were you alive to see? Just the one?
You guys are on comments. I like that.
I'm just checking.
I don't know, it sounds like Mudley. Wait.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't pick on you. That's me.
Yeah, man.
I've never understood that argument from Chivas.
Take it down a notch, brother.
I got to see two.
12 championships back in 1963. No, come on.
Ron,
Yeah.
try it. You
John,
guys
I mean, John.
at least
Two
Yes, go ahead.
campeonatos right here since '94.
Look, I don't want to sound like El Niño
It's a long hurt.
Caprichoso. You know, I don't want to sound like El Niño Caprichoso, but when your team wins a lot of championships, it's like, you know.
Here's another one.
how come it's gonna be you guys play,
Here's the other thing, Ronnie.
you guys play that
Seriously, of all the things they could have done, and I'm sorry, Eddie, I want to cut you off just for 1 second. Why didn't they just like trot out somebody to just do a remake of that and just pay the freaking rights? It would have been so much just to update the song. It would have been so much better.
Look, John, I'm with you.
That's a good thing.
Honestly, I wouldn't have done shit. I wouldn't have done anything.
It just goes to show you that Mexican teams and their PR is just so.
This is America you're talking about, man. They go out and make fools out of themselves all the time.
You know, like so many every step they take is a misstep. It's just comically bad. Eddie, I'm sorry. Please continue. I cut you off. I apologize.
No, that's okay. No worries.
You interrupted, John.
Hey, you interrupted him
Against
again.
that.
It's a sandbag. That's another sandbag, guys. That's all right.
As you were saying about all the championships that Chivas has won.
I
Sandbagging like teabagging?
just.
Never mind. That's for a different podcast.
You know, Eddie, since we do have you on the line, we always ask every Chivas fan this question: which of these do you like better? Do you like this? Do you like this one better?
Guadalajara, sabes a pura tierra mojada. Guadalajara, sabes a pura tierra mojada.
Which of those would you
I
prefer?
think I like none of them, man.
Oh, you gotta like. You gotta. I mean, come on.
I don't think they make the cut.
So you're old school. You're like. Can I ask you another question, Eddie? As a Chivas fan, if you were in the Chivas, if you were in Estadio Chivas, right, and they just scored, say, or like what they did at the Azteca when they scored their third goal, instead of going ole 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 Chivas, why don't they start going ay 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 that for like 10 minutes? How cool would that be?
No, that'd be awesome. That would just get chills and goose.
Wouldn't that make you have goosebumps on your goosebumps if you heard the crowd do that and then heard it at the Azteca on top of that? Why don't they use that? Why don't they use that as one of their chants?
We hear that and hear that. They should just automatically come out and score 5. You know?
Yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean, if you're Tapatío, I mean, that song gives me bumps, and I've never been to Guadalajara. I'm sure, Ronnie, when you hear that song, you probably, right? Maybe a little stirring, even as an America fan here in Guadalajara.
So when I hear that, I get a little wiggle in my pants.
Exactly. I mean, everybody. It's a great song. Everybody loves Guadalajara.
Yeah.
Then he flushes the toilet.
I've never understood why they don't take away. We have questions.
Yeah.
I said, and then he flushes the toilet.
I see.
Oh, hey, Eddie, I got a question, Eddie. So, like, aside from them, Chivas winning the championship, what other like moment the Chivas like do you recall, or that's like right up there with one of your favorite Chivas moments? Is it like the Boca Juniors?
This moment is when the Bofo Bautista went to Boca Juniors and just dominated. Nasty Mexican soccer, man. Just destroy them boys, man. That was prideful for me to watch, and man, just going in there with pretty much El Bofo as a star, pretty much as the main guy, man.
He's a great villain, and that game was pretty epic.
I'm not, Dan. Funny you say that, because honestly, as long as they didn't win the Copa Libertadores, I still wanted Mexican teams to do well, and I thought that was a good FU to Boca,
What's better though, man?
Fans wouldn't have been as upset if his name wasn't Bofo, but like if his name was like El El Capo or El Monstro, or Bofo just kind of sounds like he was kind of like it's like man,
Like
did you
a
see that
clap.
doofus?
Hey, what's the better moment though? The Chivas Bofo moment in Boca, or the wheelbarrow episode?
No, another good another funny moment that I thought with Chivas was when also involving El Bofo, when he didn't it was with the national anthems. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I think they were in Brazil. Because they had disrespected the national anthem when it came time to play the host country's national anthem. It's like he was already starting to warm up, because he was like, and to me, independent whether he was Chivas or not, I really enjoyed that. I thought, you know what? All right, they want to play these type of games, the South Americans, because the South Americans are always trying to use psychological warfare.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're very good at it.
What's that?
They are the masters of the.
I feel like,
I was very happy that before, said, fuck you guys. Props to that. Props to both of them. Props to Chivas for that.
Oh yeah, great moment in Chivas history for sure. Well, you guys are really.
Well, we appreciate you. Thanks for calling, Eddie. Thank you so much. It's been glad to know that we bring a ray of sunshine to your otherwise dull day. So thank you for that.
No problem.
About the podcast, because trying to get the double digits, we would be very happy to get to that. At some point, it'll happen.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much for your call. We appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Hopefully, I'll call you guys soon next Wednesday or so.
All right. Thank you, Eddie.
Looking forward to it.
Good night, guys. Thank you.
Later.
You.
Shout out to
I feel bad for Eddie that his only good memory of a Chivas game is something that happened 11 years ago. What does that tell you about how Chivas has been managed, Joel?
Yeah,
I think it's happened
like
in the past 11 years to warrant. And I'm not like the someone that pours over stuff, but I mean I was trying to rack my brain to think of anything that the only thing I could think of was when Chicharito had his streak where he scored a goal for the first 6 or 7 games of the tournament.
But John,
and then they took all the national team players away and they were done. Yes.
But you know what's funny about that is that in that time frame, a couple finals. And
they've been to 6 finals.
Exactly. Yeah. Copa MX, CONCACAF. So it's like they haven't done anything since 97.
Yeah.
Or 96, I'm sorry, 96.
So what would you rather have? Would you rather have just the complete barren wasteland of not even getting close to anything, or to have the Tantalus, you're reaching up to grab, or Alex in A Clockwork Orange when he's really sick and the girl's walking in, he wants to go up and reach her and he can't because because it makes him sick. That's what's happened. That's what's happened to Cruz Azul, is that they've been injected with the serum. Anytime they get close to any kind of success, they just things don't.
Well, John, there's rumors they're bringing vaccine.
I'm sorry?
There's already rumors that they're going after Caixinha.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, but I've never. I mean, he was a unbelievable player, but as a coach, he's been so below average. I mean, and especially when you compare him to the way he was as a player, I mean, it's not even close.
Who's this? Who? Caixinha?
Tomás Boy.
Oh, Tomás Boy. Yeah.
But Joel said that Caixinha might be the for them that I thought did really well, and he just left. Was Marc Ariana. I was like, man, this guy's a great coach. Why are you getting rid of him? He didn't do anything wrong.
I think he ended up in Greece. He ended up coaching the Greece national team. He just had good, I think overall they weren't, because he had a very interesting project, and when he had a lot of cantera from Cruz Azul on his team. And
he did.
I think that was one of what drove him away was was the promoters were probably going to impose certain players, and
especially at that club.
He just probably
Now, do you think that that's the biggest problem, Ronnie and Joel? Is it's really not Billy Alvarez that runs the show? It's
I mean, this is call.
More so than any other
This is
team.
call, I think so.
Well,
Yeah, but you know that his call is all defer to your.
I don't see whether they've gone to the gates of the promised land for so many times, meaning that there's some level of success. Arbitrarily, there's some level of success because you don't get there just by luck that many times. Having said that, if they're doing that with promoters, you can't say that the promoters is what's keeping them from winning that title. So I've never fallen for that those lies that Jose Ramon and those guys talk about, that the reason teams succeed or teams lose or whatever, it's because of the promoters. Well, there's teams that win and have a lot of promoters. I mean, when there's money to be made, you're going to have agents, you're going to have promoters. That's just part of it.
No, Ronnie, I agree, but I think there are cases where they'll push a player into a team, and it's not something the coach wanted.
But that's their job.
No, but see, you're disrupting the coach's work at that point. Like when Cruz Azul brought in
You have to be able to.
Roque Santa Cruz, they just threw a bunch of money away right there, and he was.
I wanted to call him Broken Santa Cruz, and it never.
It's funny. You're funny to say this. I still have his card. I've never reached out to him, but back in 06 World Cup, I met a promoter of sorts. He I think he was English or British, but it was for. I met him at one of the games that I watched with Australia, and we were just talking, and I remember that comment. It's like, okay, well, they have promoters too, and I don't know. It's just I don't see that I don't see it as an evil.
I don't necessarily see it as an evil, but that doesn't fit.
What's that?
You have to be able to work in concert with the coach. If if they need a player, the coach is like, well, look, I need a player with these type of characteristics, not just I need a midfielder. Oh, well, here's this guy that I know, and then just plug a guy in that doesn't necessarily work with what the coach wants. I mean, that's what the.
I'll give Ron.
And if they don't have that communication, that's a problem.
I'll give Ron a good example, and it was when Ben Hacker returned to America. So he came back for his second stint, and when he arrived, the club had already hired. They had already acquired other refuerzos, and he ended up not doing as good as in his first, when he had a say on what players to bring.
All that's malarkey though, man, because they lose the final game. It's not like their whole season is bad or at the halfway point of the season they're still sucking. They lose the final game, so it's just on the players. It's just a bad luck issue, and nothing else.
Well, I mean, there's involved. So I mean, if you believe in that sort of thing, which I occasionally do, it seems like so. There's some bad juju at that place, and
it's been linked to being.
They haven't eradicated it.
It got linked to being that they built their stadium on top of a cemetery.
With the whole promoters, I think of it, I'll give you an example. When my folks, basically after I graduated high school, within 3 months, my folks, they packed and they just started working they worked internationally. They spent the last, 20 years now living abroad and working international. And I was in college at the time, and it seemed like the house that I grew up in kept getting rented every 6 months. Now, why? It was to her benefit to have that place rented every 2 months, every 6 months, because she would make a commission off it, as opposed to renting it every year. So finally, when one of my older brother's friends wanted to rent the house, well, she was kind of like dead against it, and there was a reason why. It's because she wasn't going to make a commission because the guy ended up staying at that house for like 5-6 years. we had a tenant there. My folks had a tenant there that was reliable. So obviously, the agent wasn't going to make any money off of this other than just the monthly fee. And to me, that's how I see the mentality of the promoters is obviously they want to push people because they want to make their commissions, but you don't have to accept it. And I don't see it as an evil, because at the end of the day is, I've seen Cruz Azul. I know it's been a while, but I mean, I know that, for example, Chelis, I've heard him on record talk about that it's not an evil. So obviously, he deals with them. I know that, the Cruz Azul, I know that they deal with them as well, with the promoters. But I don't see the evil in it. I think it's they don't have to accept it. But if you do, it's on them,
I mean, again, it depends on how you choose to run your team. And,
yeah.
And, there's one team like I knew with particularly Cruz Azul where, 7 or 8, as every short tournament, it seems like. Yeah. And again, it seems like, say, well, if it's ultimately up to BD to make decisions, as I defer to your judgment. And, if you're saying that people get commissions, then I guarantee you people get commissions on the commissions too. So there's a lot of people that are the way that things are set up there. And I agree that they're a necessary part of the game. I understand that. But you make the exact point of that you don't have to accept their offer at all.
You
and
don't.
There are teams that accept it a lot more than others, and that's a problem. So but that's on them. That's on the team. If you want to disrupt your team's chemistry every 6 months, ask yourself why.
And here's another thing that I don't. Again, it's brought the promoters, more promoter out of the woodworks. Is that keep in mind that for many, many years in Mexico City, you only had 4 foreign players playing on the field, and and 5 now with so many foreigners playing, promoters. So could it be a bigger problem now than it was before? I'd be naive to say no. No, but obviously it's going to be a problem because you're going to have more people in the game trying to throw more players onto these clubs. Because why? Because they want to make money. But if the teams are producing players in their youth academy, I think that's the way you can offset it. But I don't see that happening with the 10-8 rule.
Well, and not only that, but a lot of these guys are so impatient that they want the quick fix and team like it's a fantasy team, and they think, oh, I'm going to get, this player, and this player, because they're on FIFA they're 80, they got an 82 rating, so they're going to be great.
Like Vergara.
And then and then it turns out that that one guy has a relationship with another guy on a team, and it's like, it disrupts team chemistry. So it's,
but
and if teams let themselves be influenced more so than others, then it's on that. And obviously, there's some coaches like Chelis. I'm not saying that I know this for a fact, but it wouldn't surprise me that if Chelis has a relationship with the promoter and the promoter puts players on a team that Chelis has, it wouldn't surprise me at all if Chelis talks to Ziti every week for his troubles.
Yeah.
So
he was on a report. He was on a report on ESPN when he was defending the promoters. So I don't know if he never specified which one, but he was kind of like saying that it's not the evil you make it seem to be, which I think.
Well, the media always needs a bad guy. Guy to say, well, why does push their narrative of Liga MX is terrible, and here's reason 23 promoters. When I've often wondered if the people that watch the game, if they ever decided to watch like a Granada game or some La Liga game and think that Liga MX is just so terrible. They watch soccer around the world, other than Barcelona and Real Madrid, because those are the only teams they watch, and they watch Liga MX. Oh my God, Liga MX is terrible. I mean, come on, look at how they play in La Liga. every team plays like Barcelona and Real Madrid. I mean, seriously, I enjoy the hell out of Liga MX. I think the games are incredibly entertaining, and I don't think the soccer is quote unquote bad or mediocre. Mediocre is the word that they love throwing around. Average league, and it seems like that's one of the narratives along the lines with the same reason why that America song is so bad. Is it seems are they just that out of touch with reality, with what they're seeing in front of them?
I think it's a superb league, and I think the quality is superb. I don't think it's above average. I think it's a superb league. Granted, one last comment with the promoters, and I think if anything, and it's not that I'm trying to play devil advocate here, but for many years, the players were very uninformed. They didn't know their rights, and to a certain degree, they're still unorganized because they're not part of a union. They don't have that players union, which I'm not so sure that that's the best solution. But one of the things that the promoters have done and the representatives, the agents, is that whether they've given ill advice, like in the case of El Loco Garcia or El Pulido or Salvador Carbona, some of these promoters are basically, they can serve a purpose in preparing their clients and educating them at how the business, how the business is, how they should manage their image, public speaking, stuff like that. Like bother me, like you would see these players after games and they're dressed like they're going to some sort of rave with their backpacks and shit. Like Jesus Christ, you gotta dress the part as well, that you're a professional, and I think that the promoters can play that type of role. It's like, say, hey man, you gotta clean up your image, or you gotta.
They need to sing the song when they walk out of the locker room. And just so you know, Ronnie, this is the part I'm going to play for you, the lovely O's.
Or do you think to play that part in the interest of their client? Well, yeah. Well, it's funny because like the dude that was managing what's his name, Johnny Manziel. He basically said, son, I love you, man, but I can't go down this path with you. And I thought that was very, respectful, because he kept trying to not only do well on the field, but also, straighten out his image. And if you have those type of promoters, those type of representatives, I think that's a good thing. But when you have, the guys that just, like what you say is like, when they're done and they're no good, bye, see you later. I think those are the bad ones.
Dang, Vergara just threw some shade at America. Tweeted out, America's playing, or Chivas playing America in the Clásico. We hope to plagiarize the result from the last encuentro. Vergara can't be smart.
Hey, John, do you know? I know that it used to be on the website, on the FMX website, but they used to have the results of the people that took, like the
coaches tests.
No, well, yeah, the people that could play with, that could transfer, like the representatives, the promoters. Do they still do that?
The list. I'm not sure, because their website was so horrible that I quit going to it. It was just such a navigate, and I haven't been to Yankees.net in like years.
Because I think I recall seeing, that ex golfer, the lady, what's her name, Lorena Ochoa. I think her brother, I think he was also taking the test for that, if I'm not mistaken.
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
There used to be a list. I don't know if it's still there.
Joel is on that list. Joel is a promoter. That's why he's been so quiet. He doesn't want to. See, he won't even respond. He's like, oh my God, they found out
I didn't hear a question though.
that you're on the list, on the FMF list of promoters.
Oh nah, that's all in the past, John.
No more.
But here's the thing that always would like get me, because the MFF had a list of the representatives, you know, that they had to know the FIFA rules and all that type of stuff.
I'm not sure if it's on there anymore or not.
Dude,
I
like,
don't know.
Yeah, Jose Manuel Sainz, I think that's his name, and the guy that, like, for example, I didn't see his name on there. I didn't see the guy that represents Memo Ochoa. I forget his name. I didn't see because for years and years and years I keep hearing like Hurtado and who's the other guy, Joel? Like the two guys that apparently, according to like, you know, Hector Huerta, the two guys. There's two promoters, like
Greg Taylor.
Carlos Hurtado, and who's the other guy?
Oh man.
Do you think that those guys
you're
comb their hair with
years,
buttered
running,
toast like Hector Huerta does?
And then
going back too far.
And I remember, and I met this.
Comb
And
their
I met
hair
this.
like buttered toast.
What? Oh God, that guy. Do you remember the guy Jimmy Goldsmith?
But he was an FMF though. But he was an Englishman from that they brought over from England to run the. Get the contracts for the sum and stuff.
I met that guy. I met that guy in Houston, and I also met him in Dallas. And
he was an Englishman, right?
Remember? Yeah, he was an Englishman. Apparently, he's still involved. I think somehow, I guess his welcome, expired or whatever. But I think he's still somewhat involved with the team. I think in the lower division.
Yeah, he's the guy that when they go to Europe. He gets the friendlies in Europe.
I don't think he's got the same pool that he used to. Now I know that I think he was involved.
If La Volpe becomes the national team coach, she'll get a lot of pull that he was looking for.
True. I mean, obviously you're right, because when I did meet him, La Volpe was there, but I know. I remember.
To, but okay.
No, I remember someone told me that this guy had he had a lot of pull with the national team. Like, like I remember, like, and I actually introduced myself to. I introduced myself because they were like all the players were walking out of the it was at the, I don't know what it's called now. In Houston, I forget.
Reliance Stadium.
Is it still Reliant?
No.
NRG or something like that.
Okay,
but,
yeah,
it's the same stadium.
Well, yeah, they were all walking out, and like Cuauhtemoc Blanco and all of them were like hugging him and like, "What's up, dude?" and blah 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 blah. So like, I went over there and introduced myself. I was like,
Did you get a little squeeze too? Did you get a little hug?
No, I just introduced myself.
I
just wanted to see who the hell he was, dude. And then what's his name? Paco. What's his name?
Ramirez.
Yeah, Paco, the guy that fought. Who was it? Frankie Hayden.
Yeah, the guy that has the soul patch.
Dude. All right. Well, no one's listening, but.
Can you believe? Can you believe that was the guy that they gave this then? Hey, this guy needs to be your assistant. Seriously, of all the coaches in Mexico, that dude, guy.
When I met him, dude, he was the most feminine dude I've ever met, dude. With his, I think he painted his fingernails like clear, dude. It was like this guy seemed like he just got out of like the makeup room.
He was
a vampire.
Assistant, correct?
What's that?
He was
one of
assistant.
Them. Yeah, and he was one, and then Perns, Fernando's idol at the time, Brody Campos.
And dude, and Ramirez actually ended up at Chivas.
Yeah.
He coached Chivas. That was terrible.
He did.
I'm sure that you wanted to put a gun in your mouth when you heard the coach at Chivas.
But
I did.
But hey, but to his credit, to Paco credit, I remember sitting in on a practice, and they were going over set pieces, and the instructions that he was giving. Believe it or not, I actually in the 15, 20 minutes that I was there, and he was, setting instructions, I actually learned a lot of things. That like, it's like, oh Jesus, like the movements of, like in the boxes and stuff like that on set pieces. So, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I did learn a couple things from the dude.
Think of what you could.
Maybe he should be America's next coach when La Volpe inevitably fails.
You know what, John? I think he'll win at least one cup.
He probably will. He might even. Well, he won't win this one.
The Pelaez defect. Pretty much every coach Pelaez has
America's guaranteed not to win anything.
Hey, well, do you guys see the difference? Do you guys see a difference between Ambriz and La Volpe now?
Well, that La Volpe is a more seasoned coach than Ambriz, and obviously he has a way to. It's not that he's a bad coach.
You see it on the field.
Yeah, I mean, they're starting to play. What I like about he's gotten pragmatic to the point where he he actually is basing advantage of the best quality. Good God, does it take 30 years of coaching to figure that out?
To put them in check.
But Chiquis, the coach yesterday, and La Volpe was not out. Chiquis was the one that was coaching.
Yeah, because he's serving a suspension.
So maybe it's fun to watch as someone that become a, we always talk about, where the coach is coming from. Maybe it could be maybe you're, which I'm actually, I'm totally fine with. He was a great player when he played, and he came out of a good academy, and he's gotten good tutelage, with La Volpe. So I would definitely keep an eye on him as someone that could potentially become a very decent head coach someday.
Who, Chiquis Garcia? Yeah, it's funny you say that, dude, because he was coached by La Volpe and he was also coached by Enrique Mesa. I mean,
yeah, any academy. So he has a very well-rounded school of influence for sure.
Yeah, and I said this in the past, dude. I think I'd like to see by Enrique Mesa come out of their booths and the punditry jobs, and I'd like to see them take more coaching gigs, because it seems like every player that that played for Ojitos Mesa for a while, even foreign players, they speak so highly of him as a coach and his coaching abilities.
Hey man, even though America's won the last game against Cholos,
yeah,
their goal was off a deflection and off a free kick, so it wasn't the run of play. It wasn't anything impressive. That you would expect.
Why are you trying to keep me down?
From the La Volpe system and all this stuff. It was just it could have gone either way. He could have missed it. He could have not had a deflection. It's sort of like a Chivas win.
They need to have La Volpe sing this song. America, America, America. It would be awesome.
Jesus, that is horrible. That is fucking horrible.
It's sort of Metro.
Who's like the hot band right now? And I have no idea, because obviously we don't live down there. But like the edgy, I would have that person. Hey, you redo the America theme song, and like we'll buy the rights, whatever it costs. And
did you see the song they did for the Mexican national team at the World Cup? That song was ridiculous, and they had like Herrera in a car with a rocking dude, with the lead singer like in a car singing and stuff. That was the most foolish thing, also.
Well, they did that in the one from 2006 was RBD did the Chiquitibum song.
Yeah.
So
by the way, guys,
I mean it's.
Hey, Chiquis, I learned something. I knew that the Chiquitibum, the Chiquitibum, I knew that was an America chant.
You knew it?
I knew that. I knew that from a long time ago. In fact, I used to say it in the boards. But what I did not know is how it came about, why that came about. When what do you call it? America was the first team to play internationally, and they were the first Mexican delegation to go play international as Mexico. So when they played back in like 1923 or whatever against Guatemala, games, but what they did is they had to go. They basically took a train from Mexico. I think they went to Veracruz, and from Veracruz they were going to take it all the way to Guadalajara. So one of the players, he was trying to come up with a porra, with a chant, and he kept hearing the train, and from there he got the like the chiquitiboom, the chiquitiboom.
The one, a la bim bom bam, a la bio.
Yeah, that's where that came about. It's like that chiquitiboom. That it was the sound of the train.
That's sort of corny.
What's that?
That's like the musica.
But hey, it's corny, dude. But from the reports is that the people loved it.
Hey, it's better than plagiarizing somebody else's music and.
True. It's like like that.
So they plagiarized the logo too.
It's funny you say that because when I heard that, with America, I remember Did you ever watch that movie with that Ralph Macchio where he plays the guitar? He's like a blues player.
It sounds familiar, and I may have seen it. I think we might have another caller.
Oh.
LBC.
Long Beach. No.
Yeah, hello?
We have another caller. Who's this? Please identify yourself, caller.
Hi, this is Sergio. Sergio from the board.
Sergio.
BSMX.
Sergio, are you feeling okay tonight, Sergio?
I'm sorry?
Are you nice and toasty?
I'm getting there.
Oh, so you're still working at it. Well, Sergio, thank you for calling us out in Long Beach. Now, you know that Cambiarrayas lives in Long Beach too. I don't know if you guys know each other or not. I mean, Mexicans in Long Beach, right?
Actually,
No.
I got it wrong.
Who the hell's in Long Beach?
Actually, I got it wrong. It's Los Angeles somewhere, I guess.
Oh, Los Angeles. It's Juan Uribe.
Well, I mean,
Cambiarrayas lives in Long Beach.
I go to school in Long Beach.
He was a lifelong Chivas fan. Went down to the Pachuca Academy for 3 days, drank the Kool-Aid, and is now a member of the Tuzo fan club.
I thought he went back to being a Chivas fan again. Then.
Only because they're winning. And if they weren't winning, then it would be whatever the Tuzo song. I don't have a Tuzo song, but he would be singing it. Sergio, did you have a question or comment?
No. I mean, what were you guys talking about? I don't know.
What do you think? What do you think of the whole America plagiarism?
Oh, I haven't even heard the song. But I mean,
let me play it for you.
Hey, we're not gonna get flagged for plagiarism too, right?
But I mean, when I read that they changed it, and then I read something that it was very similar to some team song from Spain, I was like, I kind of really didn't care, and it didn't really surprise me. I was like, I'm sure I'm sure it's true that they did plagiarize, and it doesn't.
I mean, piensa que son españoles.
Hey, Sergio, are you like me, where like really you don't really give a shit about the Centennial Party? You just care about the Liguilla, and that's it. Lifting the trophy.
Sergio, an Americanista. You're not an Americanista, are you?
What's more important, right? Like, what's more important is winning a championship. So if they had an amazing, Centennial Party or whatever, or if they had a really shitty one, I mean,
what would make it amazing? Like, does Taylor Swift have to show up for it to be an amazing party?
TT.
I remember when I was in college, I rated my parties by how many pairs of shoes were left in the fridge.
Honestly,
there was a couple pairs of shoes in the fridge the next morning. Oh my God, that must have been a hell of a party.
John,
have some shoes.
I mean,
yes.
If I were to win Copa Nikes, and if they were to win the league, I don't think anybody's gonna really think about this, this song that was plagiarized or whatever party they were throwing or however the ceremony this entire year.
They would have to give up the championship as punishment for plagiarizing the song. I think they should have to forfeit it.
Hey, Sergio, one thing. content? Like, let's say if America wins Copa MX, but they fall short in the finals, would you be okay with that?
Not really, just because I mean the main what you want to win is the league, right? Like the league has a lot more prestige than the Copa MX. So I mean I wouldn't be okay. I guess the silver lining of Copa MX is you get to go to Libertadores. That's my understanding. So
Well, it used to be. I don't know now with CONMEBOL's decision, but for me, either or, at Copa MX or Liga for me.
Americanista?
Yeah, big time.
And
Inspiration, Ronnie.
how did you become an Americanista?
He was watching Chabuelo on TV.
Which one of your relatives was in prison and came out an Americanista and then rubbed off on you?
All my family. I have one uncle that's a Chivas fan, but he's the only Chivas fan in the family. So yeah, just about everybody, like uncles, aunts, my parents. When I was growing up, those are the games we watched. So, I was born in Mexico City, lived there, and those are the games that we watched. That's the team that we followed. So that's kind of how it happened.
What part of the city did you grow up in?
It was the north side. So I was born in La Colonia Linda Vista, and it's a pretty small colonia, and it's on the north side. That's where I was born, but I grew up in La Diaz Miron. La Diaz Miron is about a 10-minute walk from La Basilica de Guadalupe, but it's a pretty rough part of Mexico City. It's not.
I'm about to say that's not the north side. That's like the central.
I just know Estadio Azteca and Calle Sullivan. That's it.
Yeah, no, Estadio Azteca is way south of where I grew up. So
Calle Sullivan's where all the prostitutes are at.
What?
What's that?
No, there's one game that gets played yearly. Chiquis likes to document it. It's trans game from the Tepito. Chiquis, what are they called? Las what? It's with a G.
I forget.
Oh, come on, Chiquis.
I was
asking us to be inclusive.
actually
Now you're backing up.
I was actually browsing YouTube, the Vice YouTube channel. They did a documentary on those guys.
Women, Chiquis, they're women.
The Latinx people.
Oh.
Entertaining. I mean, they're good games.
Depending on your definition of entertaining.
It doesn't matter. Are you entertained or not?
Sambuesa.
Chiquis, are you entertained by these trannies playing football?
Hey, Chiquis, you're gonna have to put that in a link, dude, because I need to watch this.
You haven't seen it, Ron?
No, I haven't, dude. The last Vice episode I watched was on the Bears.
Oh,
like the bear outings were
the Chicago Bears or
No.
proper Bears.
the other Bears. Wasn't Pern supposed to go to do some investigative reporting? I recall he agreed.
Did you go yet, Pern? Did you go? No, he did.
There's no comment.
He actually muted himself.
Hey,
All right, well, let's get back to the topic at hand. Back to the top. So we were talking about Sergio's and the reason why they were Americanistas. No, that's not true. He was no longer with us. No, he is with us. Sergio.
Yeah, I'm here.
So you're Americanista from day one. It's no. Now, as someone like all of us that follow Liga MX, and I actually had this conversation today with actually an Englishman, that folks, whether they're European or American, think that we have to like pick a team in Europe to validate our soccer fandom. I said, well, I'm not asking you to pick an MLS team or Liga MX team, so why do you expect me to pick a team in Europe to follow?
I don't know. It must be this sense of being awesome. I don't know, being one of the top leagues in the world, most watched leagues in the world. You know, maybe that's where it comes from. I don't know. Like in my travels when I went to Europe, I mean, nobody really asked me if I was
America shirt when you were traveling in Europe.
I'm sorry.
You're losing audio on you, John.
Yeah, I can't hear him.
I was asking if you wore your America shirt while you were in Europe.
No, I didn't. I didn't bring it with me because I was really scared that I would lose it. I would spill something on it, or it would get lost. Yeah, like I was super concerned about that. So when I traveled out there, I didn't bring my America jersey. But it was in 2006. So I club stuff goes to kind of the side for the World Cup. I was there in the summer, so I had I was wearing my Mexico jersey.
America flag to the game?
No. I didn't take any flag to the game. No. Yeah, but
goodness gracious, because I mean we might have another. Does that possibly mean we have another caller?
Hey, Ron, it's Las Gardenias. You look up Las Gardenias.
Yeah, I posted it on the
Oh, you put it up.
on the bustle. Yeah, we do have another caller from Milwaukee.
From Milwaukee, good lord.
Milwaukee.
Didn't
We had such a reach.
Reach.
Milwaukee.
Hello?
Yes, please. Who's joining us from Milwaukee?
Ray from Milwaukee.
Ray from Milwaukee. Ray, thank you for joining us. You have a question or comment?
Well, a little bit of both, but first the question is, how many Mexicans even played in that Tijuana America game? If you minus the Chicano players or nationalized players or whatever.
You have the goalkeeper.
What?
For America, you have the
Copa
goalkeeper.
America is celebrating 100 years of.
Oh, I see. How many Mexican players actually played? Well, Copa America's list of greatest players, out of the 10 or 15 or whatever it is, most of them are foreigners anyway, so that's not a big surprise.
And
no, they do have very, very famous Mexican players. So yes, yeah, and your comment.
In my personal opinion, it's just like a bunch of chilangos anyways. That music sucks. I mean, where's the mariachi music, or the music from the rancho,
Ronnie.
Mexican people.
The Chivas, America is supposed to be the most popular team in the country, and they play, like Europe would sing Countdown.
They could have showed the Baile Folklorico, so all that stuff. The Aztec dancers you're playing in Estadio Azteca.
They had a bunch of fresitas playing musicians.
They wanted to go the more skinny jeans type of style. That's what they wanted to do.
Unfortunate. Thank you for your question. How did you find out about the show, Mr. Wisconsin?
From podcasting, just listening to a lot of podcasting. There's a feature you can on iTunes. I was listening to one, and he said you might like another one, and that's how I found this one.
Well, we appreciate that. How long have you been listening?
For about a month.
Wow. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for your support. We really appreciate it, and please continue listening. And thanks for your question and comment. I think we're all in agreement that the song is not another swing and the miss in the PR department for soccer, but we will hear that song again next week when they play in the Super Clásico, which has just been announced is going to be at 8:30 Wednesday night. So it seems only logical that next week we have a 2-0 special edition after the Copa MX semifinal, because we're going to have some happy people and we're going to have some sad people which means it's going to be for good. Now, one question I do have for everybody, and I'm not sure if something that we should bring up now, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. I know that the marketing folks behind the Dos a Cero Football podcast have been changing the name, maybe make it a little bit more attractive to our target audience. We've hired consultants. They thought that was something that maybe we should consider doing. Ask Fernando, do you think that we should change the name, Fernando, or do you think we should keep the name as is?
Mute.
Joel, should we change the name or keep the name?
I would change it, John. Just because you have to explain it a lot of times. I think there's still a lot of people that don't get the gist of it. So you have to keep they think we're trolling.
It's too cerebral. It's too cerebral.
Well, no, I wouldn't say cerebral. It's more like of an inside joke. So if you're not, if you're not in that group, you're not gonna understand that off the bat.
People get
so they probably wouldn't have liked the special edition podcast we did in June, the 7-0 football podcast that we had.
The 7-0. And then John, there's
yes.
There's that slight chance Osorio might lose 1-0 or 3-0 and at Columbus, or even get a tie, and it will break that. It will break that 2-0.
It could. That could very well happen.
That's one of the, just to some of the listeners, that's one of the part of the inside joke. So, as what the U.S. fans celebrate, pretty much every World Cup qualifying game played at Columbus, Mexico has lost 2-0
since 2002.
And then including the World
friendlies,
Cup
2-0.
And then their World Cup win. So that's why 2-0 is so important for them.
And the problem is, like, when I post the show on Reddit, I always get asked, "Oh, I'm not going to listen to this podcast. It's 2-0." They're offended. They can't take it. They can't take the joke.
Well, then maybe we should change the name to the name that we banted about. I like it, El Podcast de Caballeros. I mean, that's
that's an option.
You can't get any better than that.
No, I like the name too, John. But then again, we would have to explain it. We have
I don't think
a lot
you have
of
to explain it at all.
Yeah, well, because we have a lot of young fans here. We're going the way of the dinosaur. This, which is good because we know more.
Because I got my AARP application in the mail a couple weeks ago does not mean that I'm a dinosaur. Just
yeah,
pump the brakes on that talk.
There's that. I proposed spicy soccer, which is sort of an inside thing also. Football.
It is.
Well, that's the name of your blog, isn't it, Juan?
No, I just had a Tumblr, but I just like the name. I saw it on Big Soccer. Someone was talking about it's obviously Fútbol Picante, and they were just saying the name in English, which makes sense. You're talking about Mexican soccer, and it's
telling it like it is can be a little spicy.
Chile, that mascot was a Chile.
Remember that you ate it the next day. There's no question. That's why Mexicans have such good memory. Now, that's something that we'll take under advisement. We'll have to maybe we should come up with a handful of names and then put it to our vote and let our many loyal listeners decide if we do decide to change the name of the podcast, what it should be.
Yes, I agree with that, Jon.
Yeah, right.
We'll let the people decide.
I can make a poll on Twitter, a poll on Reddit. Big Soccer.
We can absolutely, and we've had more callers tonight than we've had in ever. This has been a good night for us. Very entertaining. Before we wrap it up here, because yes, Joel.
No, I was thinking of one of the things that the last caller a Milwaukee guy was talking about how come America doesn't embrace more of the mariachi music or stuff like that. And I think it's just because it's more regional, and it's always been more linked to Chivas, to their rivals. So they've tried to distance themselves from that.
Yeah, but mariachi is universal, though. I mean, that's not that. I mean, there's the.
You know what?
Garibaldi.
You know what? Actually, like, well, not so much mariachis, but like, we're talking like music of the of.
You can say it. We won't hold it against you.
Of the commoner, of the
Ron's thing cut off.
of the gente de pueblo.
Well, for example, the Grupo, I think they changed their names, but like, for example, Grupo Cañaveral, the dude from Hora Pico, what's his name, the comedian Adrian Uribe, that that guy, that dude, the guy that, like, that song that he'd always used to play, like, what is it called? Tiene Rosas Espinar. I don't remember the name of the song, but it was a cumbia, but I remember that there's, like, watching, reading, the Nueva America magazines, they'd always have, like, celebrities, talking about,
Together
like,
now?
so, I mean, they do have them.
No, I do have a question for Joel. Joel, if it said that they did remake the song, they did it like a new arrangement of Club America, and it was this guy. Would
that would never happen, John. That song was written by the hand of God himself and handed to mariachis.
Been my finest moment.
Wait, ruining parchis for me, John?
Well, I just feel bad that you didn't know that they were Spaniards, but what are you gonna do?
I didn't. I felt.
So you're saying it would never happen? You don't think that Vicente would sing it?
No, that's he's straight chivista.
Is he really? Is he a full on? Is he a card carrying member?
He even wears sarape, a chiva sarape, in concert while singing the song.
It's very powerful singing.
America's more of a
city.
They're more of a city.
What's the name? Joel.
Yes.
Are you aware that Guadalajara is a Arabic word?
Yes, I am. It's it's named after the city in Spain.
Yeah.
Of the same name. But yeah, it means like pebbles by the river or on the river.
Steambed, Valley of Stones.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like Wadi al-Khara. So
it's a bit tainted, Ron, but we've changed, throughout the years. We managed to, make it more Christian.
Why is it tainted?
Well, it's because it comes from those, Moorish invaders there, John.
Yeah. Well, numbers come from the Moorish world too. Are numbers tainted?
Yes, when looking at the PRODE, yes, it is.
John, not true.
Counting America's championships.
John, not true. It actually comes from the Hindus.
I think you're gonna want to double check that. So was the PRODE tainted, Joel? Is that what you're saying? Was it PRODE tainted?
You play 8 games, and then you qualify to a 2-game liguilla. I don't know how that's a valid championship. You basically play 10 games. That's not even half the team. That's about half the teams. But you didn't play.
That's half
Yeah, I don't know how that became a valid tournament, but it always has to say PRODE and have that asterisk.
Importantly, if Chivas would have won it, would you feel the same way? Would you feel dirty knowing that star was on the jersey?
Yes, John. I was feeling dirty when we had that final with Pumas, and they gave us that penalty that it was a falta outside of the area, and they gave it to Chivas, and I didn't want to win like that.
But you didn't win.
Huh?
You didn't win.
No, we lost in penalties. Yeah.
Right. So but Joel, are we going to see the Chivas comment?
The Chivas what?
Is the Chivas comment going to appear at the end of the season?
Oh, been
the comment that appears every 10 years.
Every 10 years, it possibly can, John. It's all there. Some of these stronger teams are self-destructing.
At what point, Joel, as the self-loathing Chivas fan that you are, point will you start to and then think, you know what, this actually could happen? I mean, does it the semifinals? Do they have to get to the semifinals? Yeah, they have to win. I mean, at what point does your emotion take over and you just said, you know what, I'm just going to go on the ride and see what happens?
Yeah, no, it would have to be semifinals.
Or you're one of those guys that like you're hoping that they fail so that you can tell every guy wasn't really good. I told you. I said it 2 weeks ago. I said 2 weeks ago it's not very good.
I was like that for a bit, John. I was salty for a while with the whole Higuera coming in and doing his shenanigans.
But are you coming around because it's working?
No, not.
Or have you decided to hang your emotional hat on a different peg?
No, what? No, ultimately, it's kind of, I realized they're going to be at the club a bit much longer. Vergara's been with the team already good 10 years. Or more than 10 years, like 15, but...
You should just take up Hector Huerta's stance in like when, like the day after the La Volpe interview in Fútbol Picante, the following day they had Hector Huerta. Me cae mal La Volpe, me cae mal. She's like, me cae mal Almeida. You don't like him, huh?
Do you remember what La Volpe did, or what Hector Huerta did to him right before the World Cup in Germany? Having an off-the-record conversation, and Huerta was secretly taping it with a tape recorder in his pocket that he didn't show La Volpe, and then he plays the tape on his website, and you can just tell it's like so garbled and jumbled. And it was about Kikín saying that, I can't play Kikín as a starter because he's, whatever it was. It was so obvious that it was an off-the-record conversation.
Uh-huh.
And of course, they were all like, "Oh, great job for getting this," patting him on the back. It was absolutely just awful. At all that they don't like each other one bit. But, not a
I don't remember that part. I'm gonna have to.
Probably already in Europe. I mean, it was a big stink because it happened when they were in Europe. It was
during the World Cup?
For it. Already in Europe, and it was just.
I was already in Europe too. That's why.
Yeah. So.
Es que yo estaba en Europa. I was in Europe and you guys weren't. That's why. Sorry, I had to throw my netty in there. Sorry. I try to throw that in every time I the netty. Es que yo estaba en Europa.
The netty comment.
Yeah. Do you remember? Hey,
he's not my favorite journalist.
No, he's horrible. One of the funniest things was when he had the promoter Sanz, Jose Manuel Sanz or whatever it was, Maria Sanz, the guy that represents Hugo Sanchez, and he kept asking him these questions because he thought that he had some sort of like conspiracy theory. So when Jose Manuel Sanz basically put everything to put him in check, it's like he just immediately shut up,
Well, not only that, but for years he was pushing that the federation paid Netty money to play for Mexico, and he goes, and I have the contract. I'll bring it tomorrow, but I have it. I promise you, I'll bring it tomorrow. Everything with him is always, there are another ones that just look at the way that business is done and just have a heart attack. And again, because they, for whatever reason, people think that it's sports played honorably, then the business of sports has to be honorable as well. And it's just not. It's just business. It's just the way it's the way things are. And for people to be shocked that make business decisions about stuff and act in a business way, that somehow that they're not held above reproach because they're in sports. There's a great line in North Dallas 40, which is a great movie. I have a chance to watch it. Came out in the 70s with Nick Nolte.
It's about football, right?
Matt
Football,
Dillon.
yeah.
It's about the team. It's about the Cowboys in the 60s. Is what it's the guy who wrote it played for them. But there's a line where they lose a game and coaches are just laying in the players. I think it was John Matuzak or somebody said, why is it that every time we call it a game, y'all call it we call it a business, y'all call it a game. So it's naked look at how the business of professional, at least in this case, professional football was. It's a great movie, and it also goes to show you just how different athletes were when guys like Nick Nolte and Mac Davis could be instantly portrayed to professional football players, because those guys were a little doughy even back then. So anyway, movie if y'all haven't a chance to watch it, I do recommend. And the book is great too. Well, gentlemen, we had just another great show. We really enjoyed chatting with you all, as we always do. Again, next Wednesday, if we can. It's gonna be a little late, but we do have a big game, a Super Clásico, so it'd be great to. We should capitalize on the audience we'll do a post Super Clásico show tomorrow or next week at the 10 would be 10:30 Central. So I think we should definitely aim for that, and hopefully we'll promote that and get folks. Like we had Eddie in Chicago, we had Sergio in Los Angeles, and we had in Milwaukee. I need to start writing this down. I picked the wrong week to put in blue. Who was the guy in Mulder that called him?
I don't recall his name.
Well, see, now you're making us all look bad, Cheekies.
Yeah, you have one job,
But anyway,
Chicky.
yes.
Mike from Milwaukee.
Anyway, well, thank you, gentlemen caller from Milwaukee. We really appreciate it. So.
Nice, get it out.
Hey, John. It's one show, guys. One show.
Oh, you're watching something on YouTube?
No. Something Joel posted.
Well, as always,
reach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Fernando, you hopped on and you didn't say a word, dude.
He's gone.
I guess he will continue to not say a word.
And
See, Fernando,
whatever
you know what it is?
expected
What he's giving us the silent. You. So he doesn't even have to say words to express
Monterrey
his
seems,
his feelings.
they're doing a push to go into Liguilla.
Yeah, this Liguilla actually, and it's going to be as top heavy. It's going to be, Cruz. Well, I don't know if it's going to be, Chivas and América and Pumas and Tigres and Monterrey. That's going to be there's it's going to be fun. Hopefully it'll and of course, for you folks that are listening, we'll be able to have. But let's hope that Chivas and Pachuca play each other so we can have a. Gosh,
Yeah,
it'll be a lot of fun.
these last fechas could be pretty interesting.
Well, so hold on. So who are the semifinals? It's América, Chivas, Querétaro, and did Toluca make it?
Yeah.
I think it was and then Toluca is also in the Liga. So I mean, again, it is like the heavy of the heavyweights in the Liga. So it could be really interesting.
Yeah.
More fun when really honestly, if you want to see Querétaro play, Cruz in the Liga, no.
Is I haven't seen Querétaro play this year. Is Musa still coaching them?
He is. Somebody there?
Hello?
Did somebody just show up?
Well, hold on. Those are gunshots. Hold on.
Let's pray for.
Well, don't go outside. Good Lord. Hey, I heard gunshots. Let me go outside and see what happened. Eesh.
He's gonna.
Football podcast.
He's gonna run out like that Chinese girl in that video when those three dudes go into the house and she comes out guns shooting.
No, it wasn't going outside. It was making sure they're not. The guys shooting out aren't shooting back because I'll be right in front of them.
Just don't get shot too bad, okay?
No, it's across the street. There's some hoodlums.
Were they just shooting in the air, or were they just shooting up in the air?
No, they shoot up their house every other month.
That's real. That's real life.
Well, now, are they shooting at them because they're Americanista?
As Pern would say, we need better gun laws. We need better gun laws.
Doesn't he own guns though?
Just because they're Americanistas, they don't deserve to be shot at. I mean, we can laugh at them, but they don't have to be shot at, Joel.
Well, hey, one thing about guns though is that there's a number saying that there's 33,000 gun deaths a year. Over 60% of them are suicides though. So I don't know. I think that the majority of them would be Cruz Azul fans though. Just saying.
The fans, then they would try it and then miss.
Depressing.
Yeah. Like the vast majority of shootings are actually are not homicides. They're actually suicides. It's a shame. It's a shame.
Well, on that happy note, let's go ahead and then finish the show. Again, thank you all for joining us, and thank you for YouTube. And of course, you can listen to this edition and our previous editions. Download them from the iTunes or from the iTunes or through the podcast app. So thanks very much for joining us, and we'll talk to you again next week. Again, hopefully we'll be able to do the post-game Copa America by Mexi's Juggernaut, which in the Copa Mexi's has ever had. Of course, we will be able to broadcast right after that to see if we can really maximize our audience. So thank you guys very much for joining us, and we'll talk to you next week.
Have a good weekend.
Run about the gun. I wasn't licensed to have one. The minute they see me.